In what's proved to be a fun, competitive, and entertaining form of motorsport, Red Bull's Global Rallycross has attracted an impressive and talented list of racing and action sports personalities. New to the list is Nelson Piquet Jr., son of three-time world champ Nelson Piquet. After a stint in F1 and NASCAR, Piquet Jr. has found a home in Rallycross and currently leads the championship standings. Welcome back to the show. Nelson Piquet Jr. joins us here in the studio. Thanks for coming over to Speed Sport Magazine. And are you ready for a win now?
It's about time. It's about time.
And obviously these are all new stops for you, your first year in the tour. How is it being a rookie and leading the points?
It's great. I mean, it's just great to be in a car where you arrive every weekend knowing you can win a race. You know, we have a good team, we have a good car, a good crew. So it's just a whole new feeling when you arrive in the racetrack, and especially now leading the points and knowing that you can win a race every weekend.
You followed your father's footsteps, began through the ranks going into Formula One and then over here to NASCAR, and now you're in Global Rallycross. Those first two, how did they prepare you for jumping a Ford now?
Well, I think, you know, I've driven my whole life, and I've driven so many different kind of cars, different experiences, different kind of tracks, and I think, you know, it just builds up in your memory. You know, start learning different kind of tarmacs. You know, obviously when I came to NASCAR, it was a whole new world for me. I learned a bunch, bigger cars, closed cockpits. I think that was a part of my advantage to coming to rally. You know, I had already driven closed cockpits for a while. I think when you come from an open wheel straight to rallycross, maybe it's a bit more difficult. But I think all the baggage that I've learned my whole career helped me a lot to arrive over here in the rallycross stage and do well straight away.
Tell our viewers a little bit about these cars. They're small, 4 cylinders in your Ford, but you got over 650 horsepower.
Yes. Well, yeah, it's a little beast. You know, last weekend in New York, I brought my little brother for a passenger ride in my car. We put an extra seat because it was his first time in a closed cockpit, and he was running the lights car. So I said, "Come around, let's do a lap." And after we did 2-3 laps, and he said, "I had no idea these cars were so powerful." And the track was a little bumpy, and his seat was a little higher, so he was hitting his head on the top of the car a lot. And no, it is pretty powerful. You need to really be careful on the exit of slow corners with the gearbox, because you can rip up the gearbox pretty quickly if you're not gentle and using the clutch in the right time. So obviously 650 horsepower. The car is probably less than half the weight of a NASCAR, and no, it's basically a more powerful WRC car.
As you look at this championship, what's been the toughest thing for you to get a grip on in driving Global Rallycross compared to these other things you've done?
Well, whoever saw these races noticed that the races are much shorter, and there's much more adrenaline going on, and it's a 5 to 10 lap race. So the drivers are on the edge the whole time. I mean, they are taking risks after risk because it's so short, you know. So that's why that's the reason you have a lot of red flags, because drivers come from the outsides. You know, first of all, you're starting three wide in the starts, you know. And the driver on the outside, he's going to take the risk all the time to try to make the corner in front of you, and that causes a lot of accidents, you know. And that's the kind of thing you have to balance a little bit. You know, I know I have to up my game a little bit, for example, compared to a NASCAR, which is a 3-hour race, and you have to take your time and be calm. But, you know, you cannot be over the board and wreck every start, you know. So you have to be careful. And a lot of people in the social media, I've been seeing that they've been judging me a little bit for being aggressive. But these cars, you're driving sideways the whole time. You're on the edge the whole time because it's a 5 to 10 lap race. And wrecks are going to happen all the time. So it is an aggressive sport, you know. You're jumping, you're in dirt, you're in asphalt, you have restarts all the time. And it's just an aggressive sport, which, you know, a lot of viewers are not used to all that aggressiveness.
But he enjoys it, and he's going to stick around to talk to us a little bit about the upcoming race this weekend here in Charlotte. So stay with us. Speed Sport Magazine. We'll be right back. Thursday nights, MAVTV is the place to be for the best in American real racing. Speed Sport Magazine presents insightful features to keep you, the fan, in the know.
And I scare the hell out of myself.
Tell me the truth. You're better than Rico? And Speed Sport brings you great racing action. Tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific for Speed Sport and Speed Sport Magazine.